What's going on, guys? Alex Schlinsky here for the Anti-Hustler Weekly Show. Hope you are doing well. Today, we're going to be talking about a Q1 sales blitz, how to actually master class your way to sales in Q1, have the most effective start to the year so you can dominate your agency or SaaS or coaching business. We're really excited to be here with you. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, Brian Downard. How you doing, buddy?
Living the dream.
Hey, yo, today we are going to break this down for you step by step of what it's going to take to find your most ideal clients, how to create the opportunities, and ultimately how to sell them as well. The first and most important prerequisite before I kick it over to B is just remembering that it's all about the actions. If you want specific outcomes, meaning you want more clients, you want more sales opportunities, you want to make more money, you have to do the actions. The biggest obstacle that we see from clients that invest into mentorship or support or coaching, right? Especially so if you're not investing into any of those things, you're just watching this stuff for free online, is people take in information and then do nothing with it, either because there's mental blocks, fear, concern, etc. So, as Brian likes to say on a pretty kind of consistent basis, we're all flying in the middle of space on a rock, really not really understanding exactly what we're trying to do in this world, but just trying to make a living, trying to make a difference, and trying to help people. So, don't worry about getting rejected. Don't worry about looking stupid. Don't worry about not knowing how to handle an objection. Every single obstacle is an opportunity. Every single opportunity ultimately allows you to create more wealth and success for yourself and for the people you care about. Adversity is opportunity. That's what we're here to do. But it's a prerequisite that you take the steps we're going to talk about. So I wanted to pre-frame anything we talk about today with you actually have to do the work in order for it to be successful. And that's what we're going to be starting with today. B, tell
Yeah.
us what else we're going to cover.
Yeah. First, I love you, so I'll allow you to co-op and butcher my quotes, but that's okay. I liked it. And I like the message and the sentiment. Um, but yeah, it's not just about doing things, right? Because I feel like a lot of people be like, well, I am doing stuff, but like, is it based on where you are in your business, the right stuff? And a lot of times it's going to be indicated based on, a good measuring stick of this, a good barometer, if you will, is where your revenue's at. And if you're in a place where you don't have a lot of additional profit in the business to reinvest back into things like paid advertising, because we've said time and time again here, that is going to be the most scalable, repeatable way. So if you can get a successful advertising campaign running Facebook ads, as an example, to your ideal clients, getting them booked in to give you a name, email, phone number of leads you can follow up with, that's going to be the most scalable thing we're going to direct you to all day. But if you're at a place where you don't have that money to invest there yet and you're just paying with your time, you're doing the work to get booked calls that way and not paying for ads, that's okay also. But consider where you're spending that time, because a lot of us may feel like we're doing stuff, but is it the right stuff? Because you don't necessarily probably need to be working through your branding right now or worried about producing too much content. If you don't have a lot of paying customers, I wouldn't be stressing those longer term things, right? And it can feel like you're doing work, but it's more like busy work and doesn't move the needle. So instead of doing just marketing, I want you guys to really focus on more of the phrase income producing activities. And one of the first things we have here on our list is how to get in front of the right clients in January. So, like I said, if you're in a place where you have the funds to invest in paid ads, please do that. And if you are in our free Facebook group, we made a post, I believe it was yesterday, where we're offering to give away one of our client only SOPs. One of them is our ads SOP. So please go get that if you haven't yet. Go comment on there. Our team will take care of you, because that is going to be the quickest path for you in January. Now let's, for the sake of argument, because I know a lot of people checking in on this call, hanging out, are going to be more towards the beginner spectrum of like, hey, how do I acquire more clients at the beginning of my journey when I can't spend on ads? Great question. So the best place to find the fastest cash is always two avenues, and this mostly stems from the same avenue, if you will. But people who have already done business with you in the past, people who know you, like you, and trust you, and ideally have already given you money, that would be the best criteria, are the best place to start, where that either branches out or there is more opportunity to work with them, either through new work, additional add-on upsells, and or referrals to people they know because they like you and they trust you and they can connect you. So we did two trainings specifically in this community. One was the end of year sales slump buster. And I think the other one was some goofy thing like a Q4 sales sprint. All the strategies we talk about in there, I'm not going to go through in detail right now. Go watch those. Those are also recording in the group. You can watch them in the replay vault as well. Use those, right? Those strategies will give you the lowest hanging fruit wins and opportunities. Now, let's say you've exhausted those. Your next avenues would start to be doing your own outbound outreach. Where can you start to go talk to your customers? And again, what is the fastest way to do that in January? the more you hide behind just messages online and low volume of messages like, oh, I sent 10 Facebook messages a day for a week, or I sent 100 emails, but I didn't get any responses. It's not good enough. The higher touch outreach you can do when you're paying with your time right now. So following up those messages with phone calls, calling those people, going into local businesses, Audacity sales, and making an introduction. Those are going to be the quickest routes. And a lot of times the quickest routes are things people want to kind of go take the long route. Just maybe they'll get back to my email that's buried in our inbox. If you want to make this happen quickly, these are the routes and avenues available to you.
I want to just touch
I
on
will
that
not
for a
open the
second, Brian.
Pandora's box of establishing referral partners. I think
Yeah.
that's a longer term play, but something else you should be in consideration of.
I
So,
just want to touch on
in
the
terms of like the
audacity
fast
sales
ways to get in
really
front of
quick.
clients in January, those would be the avenues and boxes I would look to unpack.
I just want to touch on the audacity sales for a second. The thing is, right, on the previous trainings that Brian and I were talking about of the end of year sales blitz, the sales buster, like these trainings that we did at the end of the year and now what we're doing at the beginning of the year, all of them are framing ways that you can differentiate yourself in the marketplace. The reality is like there are more agencies, SaaS businesses, coaching products, consulting products growing in this space every single day. The good news for you, though, is you're still so outnumbered by the avatar of ideal clients than you are by your competitors. The reality is, though, even with that being said, the amount of outreach done by large and small agencies alike on social, on advertising, on outbound, on digital marketing, on direct mail, on cold calling, on events, on sponsorships, those numbers are drastic to the point in which pretty much every single SMB, like small business in every single industry, again, I'm making like large broad stroke claims here, but in general, feel the weight of it. They feel like they've already spoken to 50 Tristans. They've already heard from 100 Adrians. They've already got called by 75 Kevins in the last day. But you know what people don't do, guys? They just don't go in person. Now, there's a reason why people don't go in person. It is a non-logical long-term strategy, right? You can't do it long-term. Now, I do want to touch on, I forgot his name, Brian. Michael, maybe his name was, that client we worked with who built like a 7-figure company on it, which we'll bring up in a second. But in general, it's not really like a effective long-term strategy. It's much more effective as a strategy for people that are trying to get a few clients. But the thing is, a lot of people that watch this show, if you were able to leave January $5,000 richer than when you started by having 2 or 3 more clients, that would like quite literally potentially change your life, right?
And
If you're
pay
not going in person to
pay
do
for
it,
the ad spend to get you out of the harder
exactly.
work of
And
fulfillment. It's a
and
means
so
to
if
an
you're
end.
not going in person to do that, you're letting yourself down, frankly, because the percentage of people doing that versus the percentage of people doing cold calling or cold emailing is so insanely different. Just a
Yeah.
quick note on this. We did work with one guy who built a 7-figure company doing this strategy, which was really cool. Basically, what he would do, in case you want to learn this and try it yourself, because it's a really unique way to differentiate yourself, is he worked with like business schools locally in an internship program. He would offer these interns the opportunity to go in person to local businesses to offer their marketing services, and they would get course credit for it, and he would also give them commission if they sold anything. And what he was actually doing was getting essentially free labor. Secondarily, weeding out talent and identifying like who is going to be someone that they want to work with after their schooling is done, and also proliferating his message in person way bigger than pretty much any other company or person we've ever seen. We worked with this guy in 2020, I believe it was, Brian. Since then and before then, which we've run PODs since 2016, and we've had easily over 1,500 clients. We have never, ever seen anyone come close to this type of model. And there's a reason why he was super successful with it. Again, if the concept we kept bringing up at the end, the last session, Brian, was like zig when everyone's zagging. This is like a very specific way to zig when everyone else is zags. So just something to bring up and how to really do
Yeah.
stuff.
And I can't stress enough, like, we're talking means to an end, right? If you guys are sitting here rolling your eyes, like, these guys telling me to make cold calls and go into local businesses. Well, if you've been posting content on your pages or playing with your website for the past year and haven't gotten the kind of business you want, the income you want, then yeah, you need to do something that's going to change the norm for you. And then that cash flow you get from those clients, you now buy back your time. You start to invest in paid ads so you can get more clients booking on your calendar themselves. You can pay an appointment setter, salespeople to do some of this work for you. But if you're at that point right now where you have to put on your hustle hat, there's a season for that, and that's totally fine. Um, so in terms of like other ways to like Alex is talking about differentiating yourself and standing out, one of the easiest things you guys can do, and it's almost overly simple to the point it's a cliche, but just name your system. Give it a new name because that was creates a new opportunity, right? When you can create a new opportunity, you don't bunch yourself in with the lead, just a standard lead provider. Oh, we just get leads, right? It's hey, instead, no, we implement the Roof X method, the case flow system, where it's a benefit driven name that's a new opportunity for your client to partake in. I go back to the classic example of Beachbody, the big fitness brand that created P90X, very famous workout system and basically DVD set, I believe is what they sold it in back in the early 2000s. But essentially, it's something different than it was out there, but it's a new opportunity because of the name, right? And they're presenting it in a new light. And there's a lot of different versions of this Hot Works, Jazzercise, CrossFit, all these different versions of fitness that have their own new opportunity built in. Because people have this misconception or this preconception, if you will, both coming into your sales calls. I tried Facebook ads with 5 people and they never worked. Well, that's because you haven't gone through the lens of XYZ system. Presenting a new opportunity is a really amazing way to differentiate yourself and just establish expertise a lot quicker. Um, in terms of additional ways, I'm kind of going through some of the bullet points here we have for the show today. I will drop them here in Zoom for everyone in case you missed some of those emails, just so you can kind of follow along with some of what we're talking about today. But where to hook your prospects' attention would be the next thing, right? So if you're saying, okay, Brian, like I'm bought in, I'm willing to pick up the phone, do some Audacity sales, go in person, call some people, do outreach. How do you get their attention? So, two ways. The most direct and simple format for doing this, in my opinion, is always the key word here is indifferent ask of if they're in a place where they can handle more opportunities, more X. Well, X for them is it patience? Is it jobs? What is it in the way that your business describes, their business describes how they take on their work? That's always been the most direct, easy, simple way to do this, where you just ask, like, hey, is your business in a place where you can take on more HVAC jobs? We partner with HVAC companies to help them fill their calendars. Would this be helpful or not really? So a lot of people try and get fancy and they overcomplicate this and do something wild and crazy. No, I like to just the simple ask of, do you have more capacity? This can be followed up with on a phone call. That is how you can get someone's just yes or no on the phone. Now, if we're trying to be a little bit fancier, let's say you are playing with SaaS, right? So we've had Zappy Chat on the show recently, using AI to respond to clients' leads. I think it's a no-brainer if you're doing any type of lead gen. That they have a demo building tool. I haven't in a long time seen something so we used to call this a prospecting offer. Remember these, Alex, where you give something really valuable upfront to a prospect to hook their attention? That's been played out a lot over the years. And it's been a while since I've seen something so unique and different and exciting and easy to set up and offer. That I want to share this, right? So offering businesses a free demo of an AI chatbot assistant to help talk to any people who may opt into their business. There's a demo builder where you can literally set this up, and I'll try and grab the link before the end of the show here. Where in 5 minutes, it'll set up a demo and it'll help you sell this so much easier because there's this amazing wow factor and big value add when you go to a business and say, hey, like, can I just prove that this is amazing to you? You just give me a couple pieces of information. Can I build this free demo for you? And don't build the demo and send it to them and wait. Get them on a call, have the demo built, and let them play with it there. That'd be the move, right? So have them commit to a call to actually get the demo, but it's something you could do with almost minimal time. You're not having to customize it for every single person. And it's an amazing differentiator, value add, and hook when you're communicating with leads. So those are just a couple of the frames I would personally recommend, but don't overdo it. Don't overthink it. The capacity question is a great, easy, low-hanging fruit one. And again, if you're someone like I'm going to butcher it because I got it right the second time I pronounced it, Celia. I apologize. Or
Yeah.
CL. Cool. I apologize. Love the name. Um, but you could just the question about you selling auto parts, like, hey, are you guys in a place where you need more X part, or are you currently good on inventory? Right? We're making just a very simple, genuine, indifferent ask of, hey, do you need this thing? If not, totally cool. I'll move on. I was just reaching out because you fit this criteria. So it works in any type of thing you're selling. And it takes a lot of power. It gives the prospect a lot of power to let you know if they're good or not versus forcing an offer on them. So that'd be my take on there. And Alex, I'd love to kick the next one over to you in terms of like getting people who are maybe busier at the beginning of the year. How do we get people over the line when they're being non-committal?
Yeah, so it's a really good question. First of all, if you slap someone like in the face, it really like just it opens their eyes. They're
That's
like,
why
"Whoa."
going in person is the best.
Yeah, just boom, assault. Just assault them, and then bam, they will just totally pay attention. I'm kidding. Obviously, we don't promote assault in POD. It was a joke. In terms of how to get people to actually like get over the line in January when they're non-committal, it's like the same exact thing as the December objection. It's like, oh, let's circle back at the beginning of the year, and then in January, it's like, oh, like I'm so busy, let's circle back in February. And it's like, hey, look, I totally get where you're coming from, that you want to circle back in February. I know you're really busy. Here's the thing, right? Just transparently, everyone has that same exact feeling right now, right? Catching up from the holidays, trying to get everything organized. Then in February, mid-February is when they'll be able to get started. The opportunity right now for the first 6 weeks of the year is massive to take advantage of a huge head start for any companies that have waited to start until Q1, because very often it's not until February or mid-February that they start. What I'm asking of you is 30 minutes of your time. Okay. If we're doing a sales conversation, 30 minutes of your time to break this down. And then the offer that I'll make to you, if the fit is right, will require none of your time. And I'll make it easier for you to be more organized, to feel confident that the marketing or the whatever is off your plate. So you can feel confident that you're moving in the right direction in Q1 versus pushing off more. Right. And I think this will benefit you greatly. So that's
Cool.
the key.
Love it, man. Great insight. And the last point we have here, and then we can get some open Q&A or just more discussion around this, how our clients are doing this, because we have a lot of really gifted, smart, amazing, all the words in our community. One, Nate Tilley will be joining us here on this show next week to be covering how he is doing this. He's one of those clients that fit in that box. We're seeing high 5-figure weeks in his agency. Kids doing 20, 40, 20, 30, $40,000 a week in his agency some weeks. And really like, what's that common denominator? What's that come down to is he's got his ads dialed in. He's figured it out where he's taken income from his first batch of clients that he's had, and he's taken that profit and reinvested it back into a place where he can create a source and a consistent tap of booked calls, people coming to him interested, where he now doesn't have to go to them and kind of sift through and find that needle in a haystack of, hey, this person is interested in all the people I've reached out to. That's part of that process. But now he's getting people coming to him. And it's a game changer, right? And I think a lot of people have the wrong expectations around this. They'll spend $300 and not get results and start freaking out and be like, I wasted all this money on Facebook ads. Like, you should be comfortable parting with $2,000 to $3,000 just to get the data back, to not even make any money other than the opportunity to optimize what you are doing. Because then we've gone through some of these KPIs before. If you can get to a healthy place of $20 to $30 a lead, $300-ish per booked call, and then $1,200 to about $1,000 cost per acquisition. If the lifetime value of what you sell, if you're selling people at $3,000 a month for a minimum of 3 months or longer, you can play that game all day. That's like putting money into an ATM and taking it back out. You just have to get to a place where your business is producing the money to make that investment and make that leap. And frankly, don't try and do it the hard way, right? My recommendation is going to be to find a media buyer to do it for you, or join an amazing mentors community like we have here, who can show you the way and has a lot of really great coaches that just do this for you. And something we're excited about, as a little bit of a shameless plug, we have a copywriting coach that has joined the program to help just make the ad creation process that much easier. So you have to do a lot less thinking and could just get some successful ads up. So that's been the common denominator I've seen in our most successful clients, and something I'm really proud that we do well. So outside of that, though, guys, those are just some highlights and just quick thoughts on, as we start January, where to find low-hanging fruit, easy wins, opportunities for your business, how you can kind of convert and get people over the fence who are questionable because it's early in the year, with some of what Alex said around the sales objection handling, around what I talked about with your offer and framing what the name is, what the system is. And yeah, hopefully you guys can go take some of these quick wins and go crush it.
Remember, we do this show every Thursday at 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you then.